Pereira into the back of the net. Medina! Go for the birthday boy! Goal! Devo pegar Torre! Oh my goodness!
Live from Citizens Business Bank Arena here in Ontario, California. Brian Tavjay along with Jose Duran for the Ontario Fury pregame show as kickoff set for 5 p.m. tonight. Jose, tonight the boys are coming off a big win in Turlock. They play host to the Tacoma Stars.
Yeah, big game tonight and huge game last night. Gritty won. Saw a little bit from everybody. This was great from a team effort all around, so expecting a little bit of the same tonight.
After that tough loss here at home against San Diego just a few days ago, this is the important stretch for the guys to come out victorious again here tonight in Ontario against Tacoma. They're playing great soccer as well, sitting in second place. A couple changes for Tacoma as well, as Nick Pereira named the head coach as well.
Yeah, huge change. You know, we all know Nick Pereira and what talents he brings on the court, and interesting to see how he does it on the bench. You know, a huge win against San Diego Soccer, so already making himself an impact felt on the bench.
Well, Nick Pereira playing a couple seasons here in Ontario as well, so he knows the team, the likes of Izzy Cisse and company. He knows what to do against this Ontario team. It'll be a great test for the boys coming in just a couple days before Christmas here to see if they can seal a victory tonight, remain in first place. That'll give them a 5-1 overall record with the next game in a couple weeks here from Ontario. But first, we have a couple surprises, right, Jose?
Yeah, and it's Christmas, it's holiday season, so a couple surprises coming for you up next.
All right, as Jose gets ready for that little Secret Santa surprise for you fans out there, this is our pregame show from Citizens Business Bank Arena in Ontario. Let's throw it over to Jose.
2, 3, 1,
Thanks,
2,
Brian.
3.
Yeah, I'm here with Jeff
check,
Hughes.
Sound check, sound check. Sound check, sound check, sound check. Sound check, sound check, sound check.
Pereira into the back of the net. Medina! Go for the birthday boy! back of the net. Medina! Go for the birthday boy! ¡Debo pegar torre! ¡Oh my goodness!
Live from Citizens Business Bank Arena here in Ontario, California. Brian Tabjay along with Jose Duran for the Ontario Fury pregame show as kickoff set for 5 p.m. tonight. Jose, tonight the boys are coming off a big win in Turlock. They play host to the Tacoma Stars.
Yeah, big game tonight and huge game last night. Gritty one. Saw a little bit from everybody. This was great from a team effort all around. So expecting a little bit of the same tonight.
After that tough loss here at home against San Diego just a few days ago, this is the important stretch for the guys to come out victorious again here tonight in Ontario against Tacoma. They're playing great soccer as well, sitting in second place. A couple changes for Tacoma as well, as Nick Pereira named the head coach as well.
Yeah, huge change. You know, we all know Nick Pereira and what talents he brings on the court, and interesting to see how he does it on the bench. You know, a huge win against San Diego Soccer, so already making himself an impact felt on the bench.
Well, Nick Pereira playing a couple seasons here in Ontario as well, so he knows the team, the likes of Izzy Cisse and company. He knows what to do against this Ontario team. It'll be a great test for the boys coming in just a couple days before Christmas here to see if they can seal a victory tonight, remain in first place. That'll give them a 5-1 overall record with the next game in a couple weeks here from Ontario. But first, we have a couple surprises, right, Jose?
Yeah, and it's Christmas, it's holiday season, so a couple surprises coming for you up next.
All right, as Jose gets ready for that little Secret Santa surprise for you fans out there, this is our pregame show from Citizens Business Bank Arena in Ontario. Let's throw it over to Jose.
Thanks, Brian. Yeah, I'm here with Jeff Hughes. Jeff, huge game last night, victory. Talk to us about that game and what do you expect tonight?
Well, Turlock's always a hard place to go, right? So it's a challenge anytime you travel up there. They always play very well in that environment. They're used to training there. It's always tough for any opponent. So for us, it was great to go in and get that gritty win. Good teams always do it, right? And that's what we think we are, right? We think we're a great team. We're always going to be competitive. So going into Turlock and getting that gritty win just sets us up for a good competitive match today.
Great. Also, you had a little experience earlier in the season as a player coach. Talk to us about that and how that felt being a player coach.
Well, I've done it twice in my career now, right? So I've done it in the M2 last year with the Soccers 2. You know, it's a challenge, right? It presents a unique opportunity to get into a different mindset as a player, but it also presents its challenges because you have to be able to look at the game tactically and be able to make adjustments. So it always takes a little bit of way. You can't be 100% a player and be a player coach at the same time. So you know, I feel for Nick, right? A friend of mine, wish him the best, right? A great opportunity for him. So you know, it definitely presents its challenges. It's fun though. It's a unique opportunity.
Yeah, you heard here from Jeff Hughes, a little experience as player coach. Nick Pereira, a player coach tonight with the Tacoma Stars. Thank you so much for your time, Jeff. We'll go back to you, Brian, in commercial break.
Come on. Come on, get it. Let's go. Shoot. Score. Yeah! And that's why I'm a proud sponsor of the Fury soccer team.
My name is Maicon de Abreu, number 21. I want to wish our fans Merry Christmas.
Hi everyone, this is Liz, manager of ticket sales and service here with the Ontario Fury, wishing all of our Fury fans happy holidays and a Merry Christmas.
Hi Fury fans, my name is Kelsey Johnston and I'm the digital media specialist here at the Fury. I just wanted to wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy Holidays. Thank you for all your support.
How's it going, Fury Nation? This is Giovanni, Director of Digital and Broadcasting. And I just want to wish you, a very happy holidays and Merry Christmas. And just want to thank you bottom of my heart for all your support.
All right, welcome back to the Ontario Fury pregame show here from Citizens Business Bank Arena. Brian Tabajay along Jose Duran here. Something that we look forward to tonight, at least for myself, fans, is if they can pick up their intensity throughout the whole game. I'm talking 4 quarters of Ontario Fury soccer. What do you think, Jose?
Yeah, that's exactly what we want to see tonight, see how much they can do so. In San Diego, kind of saw the first two quarters, not so much in the second half. Last game, though, we saw him pick it up, like you mentioned earlier. It was a gritty, ugly win. The Turlock came back, tied it up a couple times. They came back, they showed some character, so I want to see a little bit of that tonight.
All right, so a lot of things to look forward to tonight. I personally want to see these guys keep that goal differential up. Right now, they are plus 20. That means a 4-1 overall record in that Pacific Division. Tacoma's coming in hot, though. Big win last night in San Diego. Let's see what Ontario Fury can do tonight. Make sure you guys tune in right here on MASL.TV from Ontario, California. Happy holidays, everyone. We'll see you shortly.
Pereira into the back of the net. Medina! Go for the birthday boy! Goal!
My name is Brian Tabajay, alongside Jose Duran here in Ontario. Jose, happy holidays.
Happy holidays, feeling the spirit inside here, like you mentioned, Citizens Business Bank Arena. Holiday music was playing on throughout the pregame, so feeling that, and hopefully the Fury can hand these fans an early Christmas present tonight.
Well, the biggest concern, we just got the lineup announcements officially, biggest concern for you Ontario Fury fans, no Adrian Perez. That means the leading goal scorer of the MASL is out for tonight's contest due to concussion protocol here. He did get banged up a little bit last night in Turlock. Nonetheless, a victory for your boys of Ontario, 5-4 over Tacoma. What are they going to have to do tonight to replace that scoring level, that talent, that offensive capability of Adrian Perez?
Yeah, it's unfortunate that Adrian went down last game early in the first quarter. We mentioned in the post game prior to the game on Saturday at Turlock that we wanted to see another player or a couple players step up other than Adrian. And unfortunately for them, they got to step up due to Adrian's injury. But you saw a mix of the players. Everybody got involved in the mix, so you're going to have to see that here tonight as well.
Official lineup says the visitors, Tacoma Stars, head into tonight's game after a victory down at Pechanga Arena last night in San Diego. Overall record of 3-1, right behind your Ontario Fury, who sit in first place of the Pacific Division. Overall record for Ontario after last night's win, a 4-1 record so far this year. The visitors, Tacoma Stars, lineups just announced. Number 2, Chase Henson. Number 3, Corey Keats. Number 4, Troy Peterson. Number 8, Philip Lund. Number 10, Nick Pereira, and head coach now Nick Pereira. Number 11, Jamal Cox. Number 14, Vince McCluskey. Number 16, Joseph Carell. Number 17, Joey Yurtson. Number 21, Adam West. 23, Raphael Cox. Number 24, Danny Wallman, their starting goalkeeper. Number 25, Michael Ramos. Number 77, Alex Megson. And rounding out the bottom, number 99, Matt Clare. For your home team, Ontario Fury, Jose Manuel Gonzalez, number 2, starting defender. Marcus Jordan on the roster again tonight. The rookie, Debray Holloman, who scored that game-winning goal last night up in Turlock, will have a start also. Robert Tornell in tonight's matchup. Juan Carlos Charlie Gonzalez, Andy Reyes, Chico Francisco Cordiero, Mike Honde Abreu, the captain, Izzy Cisse, Tony Walls, and the veteran Tino Nunez, alongside Jeff Hughes, and of course the starting goalkeeper, Chris Toth. As the lights get turned on here, introductions coming along shortly. Jose, they had a second, I would say, the latter part of the fourth quarter against San Diego. Ontario showed up.
Yeah.
If they can bring some sort of intensity to that level, they have a pretty good shot of winning tonight's contest. What do you see in the first quarter that they need to do?
We need to see that explosiveness. Prior to the game tonight, we saw Tony Walls and the way he was leading his players in the warm game huddle, telling them you got to be mentally prepared, and if you're not prepared to play tonight, go back to the locker room. So you could tell where their mindset is at tonight. So they want to come out with that aggressiveness and put this team away quick. You know, unfortunately, for the game against San Diego here at Citizens Business Bank Arena, we saw a lot of that aggressiveness, a lot of the touchiness, but not so much the shots on goal that they wanted to see. So interesting how they're going to do so again tonight without Adrian Perez, but willingly enough, hopefully the Fury could get something going early on.
And the veteran defender, Evan McNeely, will have to wait another game to face his former team. Still out with an injury for Evan McNeely. Another healthy scratch for the Ontario Fury, Andre Campbell, and Willie Ray Goza as well. I'm excited to see the youngster and the rookie, Debray Holloman. He had the game-winning goal last night up in Turlock. He has length. He's tall. He is quick as can be. As far as what we saw on the pitch for warm-ups, this kid has a lot of talent, a lot of promise as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And last year we saw the rookie breakout of Adrian Perez. Hopefully we see the same out of this young kid. But like you said, he got a goal last night. Let's see if he can keep the momentum going forward to tonight's game. But in front of them is going to be a tough test of the Tacoma Stars with head coach / player Nick Pereira. See what he's going to bring onto the table. He already has a 1-0 record as a player coach, defeating the San Diego Sockers. We know him very well here, Nick Pereira, one of the leaders around the league. And let's see what he could do with this talented squad of Tacoma.
Well, Debray Holloman, the youngster and the rookie, just got at it, and he's a son of the former indoor star and coach LeBaron Holloman. As introductions getting underway here from Citizens Business Bank Arena.
So glad you can join us right here on MASL.TV. Alongside Jose Duran, I'm Brian Tabajay. The only other game on score on tilt tonight has the Barracudas and the Monterey Flash matching up. That game right now, 1-0 Flash. We'll keep you updated with those scores as well. Monterey Flash overall record 1-0. The Barracudas 1-2, representing that Southwest division of the MASL. So I think, Jose, there's not another home game until the next year. So we got a little bit of rest here in the month of January from home. We'll still have that game, that matchup, the first week of January here at CBBA against Turlock. And then Tacoma again a few weeks after that on a Sunday evening here from Ontario. But it's all Pacific Divisional matchups. Ontario will head right back up north to Turlock on Saturday and then have some rest up until that following week when they play host again here against Turlock as well. So back-to-back matchups against the Turlock Express. And albeit, right, I mean, you look at the Express, a franchise that's had struggles in that Pacific Division. I mean, you're matching up against Tacoma, Ontario, and San Diego every year. Not saying it's a gimme win for Ontario, but they definitely have to capitalize when they're matching up against Turlock. The bigger thing here on the Tacoma side, Matt Clare joined this team in the offseason. The San Diego Sockers veteran is now part of this leadership group alongside Nick Pereira. Waltman, the goalkeeper, is nothing but excellent as well. So tonight's contest should be very exciting here in just a few minutes.
Yeah, and there's a reason why these Tacoma Stars are 3-1 on the season, and we're going to see what they're going to bring tonight after the only defeat was against the Ontario Fury up in Tacoma. You know they're going to be eager to come out with everything against the Fury and prove a point and take over sole possession of that first place of the Pacific Division.
So Chris Toth still leading the league in goals against average at 2.83. More to come just after tonight's national anthem. We're just a few minutes away here from kickoff. Head coach in his second season, Jimmy Nordberg. Assistant coaches Kevin Curtin. And added to the assistant coaches, team president and general manager Bernie Lillevoix. Strength and conditioning coach Matt Holguin. Head trainer Gil Sadavar. Team doctor, Dr. Sachin Patel. And like I just did mention, team president and GM Bernie Lillevoix. Head coach and player Nick Pereira in his second game as head coach and player. Assistant coaches Lance Larson and Mike Jennings. Referees tonight, senior referee Shane Butler, referee Manuel Ortiz Jr., assistant referee Vince DiNardo, and the fourth official is Joseph Salinas. So Tacoma, Jose, doing what Ontario could not do a few nights ago here from CBBA, is really settle things down, play their game, come out victorious. We were talking to some of the members of the Ontario Fury franchise. More than anything, we touched on it on the broadcast, right? It seemed as if it was more of a mental challenge when they faced San Diego. And don't get me wrong, San Diego is a great franchise, the most winningest franchise in the MASL. But at some point, little brother's got to kick down big brother. And then that's their biggest challenge, I believe, so far this year.
Yeah, it's going to have to get over that hump one way or another, and it starts off by taking it one game at a time. We mentioned it when they fell down to San Diego here at CBBA a couple nights ago, that just to brush it off, take it to the next game, and exactly what they did last night against Turlock, brushing it off, getting a victory, and hopefully they could do so again tonight here against these Tacoma Stars.
So starting 5 for your Ontario Fury, Tony Walls back into the lineup, Charlie Gonzalez, Maicon de Abreu, Chico Francisco, and the captain, Izzy Cisse. Of course, Chris Toth in nets for the Ontario Fury. For the Tacoma Stars, it is the player head coach, Nick Pereira, along with Waltman, West, Philip Lund on the starting lineup as well for Tacoma. And I'm missing Rafael Cox as well. So the starting 5 for Tacoma out there against a good blend of veteran leadership and youngsters. As Tacoma on the break now. Along the near side, that is Pereira. Defended by Maicon and Charlie. Chico Francisco now steamrolls ahead, looking for some support. And there's a whistle there.
Too many players on the field, it looks like, against Tacoma.
So Claire looking over at the bench in frustration. Ontario Fury Soccer, driven by Mark Christopher Auto Center. As referees are looking over at the bench for Tacoma, saying, hey guys, someone's got to serve that minor penalty here. Too many men on the pitch.
This might be exactly what the Fury needed too. We said they wanted to go ahead and get on top early, and what a better way to do so with a penalty on your favor to start off the game.
So power play, you got Hughes, Nunez, Gonzalez, Maicon to the far side, and the point man up top, Chico Francisco. Nunez lets that ball run towards the near side boards. And Toth well off his back line.
We'll see exactly what Nunez could do, bring into this offensive set. Exactly why we want him out here is because of his body and aggressiveness on top.
Teed up for Charlie Gonzalez, right on cue. It's a power play goal for Ontario.
What a strike by Charlie Gonzalez. He got things going last night as well, getting a goal up in Turlock. He strikes and loads, and they're giving you the space in front of you. Why not? And he strikes it with all the power. Nothing goalkeeper of the Tacoma Stars could do so there. 1-0 Fury.
So 2 of 8 on the power play so far this season. And Ontario, just what they needed, Jose, to get on board early on. Charlie Gonzalez cannot have made contact with that ball any better than what he did as he let loose. No chance for Waltman, like you said. And it's 1-0 Ontario here with 13:40 left to go in the first quarter.
Yeah, what a strike, and nothing he could do there, but it's exactly the way you get at those balls right in front of the goal. And what we didn't see last game as much for the Fury against San Diego, we see it right off the top of the bat with almost a minute into the game here. Clean shot on goal that is able to hit the net, and the Fury on top 1-0 earlier on here in the first quarter.
So a pair of goals from Charlie last night up in Turlock, and tonight starting things off with a power play goal to get things going here. Gonzalez with his 8th goal of the season, assisted by Hughes. Hughes will get his 3rd assist of the season, just out of the reach of Toth there. Luckily made contact with the glass and not the net. Score remains 1-0 here, Ontario.
Yeah, what a great save by Toth there. Doesn't make him look, he does make him look easy every now and then. A great shot deflected out, and the Fury still on top.
Things have settled down a little bit here in the first quarter after a minor penalty on Tacoma. As I can assume the challenge for player and head coach Nick Pereira is to get the right men on at the right time. And unfortunately for them, too many men on the pitch made it a 1-0 lead for Ontario here early on in the first quarter.
It's kind of the things that Nick will learn as he goes, as difficult it is to be a player coach, how to manage that. Substitutions, when or not to go on, not putting it exactly on him, but it's one of those things that you get on the learning curve.
RGV has tied things up in the third quarter, a 1-1 game from State Farm Arena. A little toss-up and mix-up there with contact. The youngster Maikon De Abreu and one of the stars. No penalty called there. A little physicality off the ball. Andy Reyes shoving a player off, and he'll get called for it. It's that reactionary foul there as Reyes showing frustration against Adam West. And West and Tacoma earn a free kick.
Yeah, but let's see the aggressiveness up top and the pressure that the Fury are putting right off the top of the bat here in the opening minutes of the first quarter.
We had the veteran defender Evan McNeely leading the charge in warm-ups. Fortunately, not part of the lineup here tonight, but McNeely knows this Tacoma franchise pretty well. Coming over from Tacoma in the offseason, along with Toth and Walls, Campbell, McNeely, and Hughes. McNeely coming from Tacoma, a veteran of indoor soccer and a vocal leader as well. Got a chance to partner with him and meet up with him. He was a little bummed that he didn't get a full game up in Tacoma when they first went up there just a few weeks ago. Nonetheless, getting back into shape with the head trainer Gil Sadavar to get back onto the pitch as soon as possible.
Yeah, and right before you kept going on that exact player, we see the mixture of different players for the Fury out this season and how well they've been able to mesh so far. Even though Campbell's out, I love the way he's been able to get incorporated with the team and the impact he's had on the defensive side. But a lot of mixture players, veterans, rookies from last year, and new players coming in. You like what you're seeing so far.
Easy save in the end for the veteran goalkeeper Chris Toth. Andy Reyes back onto the pitch for Ontario. Francisco playing the point man up top. Walls will lay it off to Reyes along the near side. And with 10 minutes left to go here in the opening quarter, a 1-0 lead for the home team Ontario Fury, working from right to left on the broadcast. So glad you can join us live on MASL.tv. As Walls receives that ball off the far side boards. Also draws the foul as well. I believe that was on the head coach player, Pereira. Andy Reyes looks like he's going to restart here for Ontario. Does have Walls to his left along with Hughes. First action we've seen for Jose Gonzalez as Hughes gets a shot deflected and a corner to the far side for Ontario.
Great option there for Reyes, though, as Hughes tees up, gets a player in front of him, but the Fury keep knocking on Tacoma Stars' doors, trying to get a couple more goals on the back of the net.
So Reyes again to restart to the far side. And he'll just drive it along the glass there. Unfortunate that no one was on the back end of that ball. And now West will switch the field to Pereira. A lot of rotations here. Marcus Jordan, part of the fresh bodies for Ontario as well. Did have some pretty significant playing time last night and the prior home game against San Diego. Marcus Jordan, one of the younger players on this roster.
As getting his opportunity earlier on in the season, but we know the impact that he can make.
Jamel Cox flies by 3 would-be defenders, and unfortunately it's a one-touch clearance. Tacoma will maintain possession with 8:50 remaining here in the opening quarter from Ontario.
And it seems like the Tacoma Stars have calmed themselves into the game and are getting comfortable out there on the pitch now.
Mason will lay it off against the near side. In the end, nothing doing there for Tacoma. Jordan tripped up momentarily, but it is a foul on Keats. And a restart coming for Toth and company on their defensive half.
They're very smart there by Jordan, able to go ahead and get his body in front of the player. And once you go ahead and do that and have the ball in front of you, you're more likely not to cause a foul in the back. And exactly for that, for the Fury, allows players to come in exchange, and now they're on the offensive side.
Back to the captain, Cisse and Toth. No pressure here given from Tacoma. Toth driving it down to the near side. Intended for Nunez, and he wins that battle. Switch of the field for Walls. And Maikon de Abreu jumped on that ball. Man, that thing set up a little too perfectly, almost like the Charlie Gonzalez power play goal just a few minutes ago.
Yeah, it was an error in the back of the defensive side for the Stars. Horrible clearance there off the wall, right into the middle. Luckily enough for there on the defensive side, a great slide, keeping the Fury just to one goal so far.
Wallman will play to the far sides. Pressure there from Gonzalez. And Cisse will hold things in for Ontario. To the near side they work. It is De Abreu. And he'll settle things down as new bodies come on to the field for Ontario. It is Andy Reyes and Francisco along with Jordan to the far side. And now the veteran Hughes for Ontario. Into the corner they work with Francisco. Tried to work a 1-2 with Reyes, and he decided to hold on to that. As De Abreu looking for options. Chico Francisco now to the near side. Quietly, Francisco is having a pretty darn good year here for Ontario.
Absolutely. He's taking in charge of the offensive side, and you can just see the technique and the talent that he has and the balls on his feet. He does the right option every single time he has any players around him. So we want to see more of that and exactly what he could do more on the offensive side in terms of creating goals.
Part of the top group trio, I should say, of points for the team so far. Him alongside Adrian Perez and Charlie Gonzalez lead the team for total points. Perez really running away with it. 16 points so far. Does lead the MASL in goals and total points. Unfortunately for him, a scratch on tonight's roster. Charlie Gonzalez finding time on the pitch with his brother, Jose Manuel Gonzalez as well.
Yeah, and Adrian Perez will be the first to tell you he wanted to be out there tonight, and he'll be back at the next Ontario Fury game. But so far, the Fury looking and responding very well without their go-to guy out there, and seeing how well they play as a team, and so far, so good.
Lund works a 1-2 along the near side. Comes out against Walls. Cisse back checking there. Well done from the captain.
Yeah, very well defensive side. The sighting from the captain, Easy Cisse, calmly enough, just poking the ball away and danger avoided.
To the near side, Tacoma works. 1v1 against the veteran Hughes. It is Ramos. Looking for the deep ball. It is Pereira. 1v1 against Charlie Gonzalez. And it is Ramos, and just missed with Jamel Cox on the back end of that pass. Almost like a shot pass opportunity there for Tacoma. Goes around Jordan. Will lay it out to the far side. And that is Keats. And now Pereira. Decides to hold on to the ball. Lays it off, and a shot driven. And now Charlie Gonzalez to the near side. A good spell of possession here for Tacoma. In a dangerous area defensively for Ontario. Pereira does such a nice job as he just floated one right above the goal. Does such a nice job, I was going to say, putting it on target as well. And there you go, as Tacoma ties things up here with 4.5 remaining in the opening quarter. Pereira, a layoff attempt there, and he buries that attempt along the near side glass, and we're all tied in 1.
Yeah, that was all Nick Pereira throughout not only the goal, but from what we saw leading up to the goal, putting his players in great positions to get a clean shots off. And before that one, the shot that went off, that was all him there. But for the Fury, horrible clearance in the defensive side there, able to clear it right, dropping in the middle. Never wanted to do that as a defender, and it's 1-1 with 4:29 left here in the first quarter.
Pereira is so smart. Anytime that player has the ball, and I've seen him play before he got here in Ontario and then when he was with Ontario as well, Pereira does a great job shielding his defenders off and either creating an opportunity or spinning off his defender and creating his own opportunity. This specific time, he gets that layoff attempt and buries it for a 1-1 tie here from Ontario.
Yeah, it's the whole 6'3" figure that he has on him, able to go ahead and create that space. Nothing Ontario Fury defenders could do there, and you see that height difference between Nick Pereira and the Ontario Fury players. But, I mean, there's no excuse there in terms of doing the right things, and we didn't see that happen there when the ball got cleared right towards the middle. And a player like that, once you get a clear shot, he's going to put him in the back of the net all the time.
So timeout called by head coach Jimmy Nordberg after that goal was scored. And an update from the Monterey Flash and RGV Barracudas from State Farm Arena. It is a 3-1 Flash lead, 9.5 remaining in the third quarter in that matchup. So 4.5 remaining here from Ontario. A 1-1 game. Just touched on the pace and the amount of possession that Tacoma had that right before that goal was scored. I would say about a solid minute to a minute and a half of straight possession from Tacoma. As now Waltman trying to break them out on a counter.
Yeah, we get to see exactly what the Tacoma Stars are made of. Once that penalty got killed, they got into a rhythm in the next couple of minutes, and they show the talent that they have. Going from the top to the defensive side, they're a very well team overall.
Tino Nunez now for Ontario. Reyes trying to work something along the far side. Settles things down, stays with Walls to the near side. Reyes tripped up a little bit there. Play will continue to the near side. It is De Abreu. Now Pereira undefended. Try to turn it around. And a shot just wide. Toth well off his back line there. As I believe that was Lund. After Pereira tried to dance around Toth. And both Lund and Toth are okay. Nice sportsmanship there from Tacoma.
Yeah, Nick Pereira able to get another opportunity going for the Stars, but unfortunately for him, that ball skips a little too forward on him. Can't do a roulette turn there, gets away, and for the Fury, we see Andy Reyes on the floor. I don't think I saw anything in terms of going a bad slide from the Stars, but other than him stepping wrong there on the field, and let's hope he's okay.
Well, up on his own power is Reyes. And a good sign so far. But a restart will come in their defensive third for Ontario. 3:31 remaining here in the opening quarter from Ontario. Right here live on MASL.TV, so glad you can join us. Alongside Jose Duran, I'm Brian Tabajay. And if you are a Ontario Fury fan who watches every game, you know that this is a different view for the broadcast for the first time tonight. Right. Exciting things happening here from Citizens Business Bank Arena. More to come on that at the halftime recap.
Get to enjoy a different view from what we used to have, but experience the same beautiful game here, Brian.
That's right, Jose. As Reyes now on the bench and getting some attention there. Hopefully he comes back into tonight's contest. Pereira, double teamed along the near side. And Toth will settle things down here.
Very well done there by Isi Cisse and Chico to double team Pereira, not letting them get anything going on the counter attack. Then very quickly, as soon as he gets the ball, you you see a player or two get on top of them, and we hope to see that as the game goes on and they eliminate that option, because if you could eliminate Nick Pereira, you have your options of getting a victory are definitely higher.
Walls to the far side, lays it off for Hughes. Quality shot attempt there, and a great save from their goalkeeper, Wallman.
Yeah, they're getting through the defense of the Tacoma Stars a lot more easier than what they did versus the San Diego Sockers, as we're seeing the shots actually getting through and making the keeper make a couple saves.
Wallman overall a 3-1 record, a 4.58 goals against average. Toth still leading the league in his goals against average, 2.83. Hughes with a high boot there. A restart coming for Tacoma along the near side. No contact made with McCluskey, but nonetheless a high boot there and a restart coming.
They're still jawing over there. Hopefully not too bad in terms of sportsmanship, what we've seen so far for the Fury. A couple clean games here. You do see that aggressiveness as soon as the Stars get the ball on their feet. There's one or two players right on them right away, so a lot more of that, and the Fury will be successful tonight.
A lot of open space that we've seen so far in this opening quarter from Ontario. With a minute 45 remaining, a lot of open space, a lot of long runs made, overlapping runs on for both teams. A lot more of an open game in comparison to the San Diego matchup just a few nights ago. It's good to see the teams stretch out the field a lot more than a defensive game that we saw against San Diego. Remember, it was a 1-0 game at halftime.
Yeah, San Diego definitely frustrated
Jordan
the Fury side.
Jordan and McCluskey tangling there after a bouncing ball. Maybe he just got winded there as McCluskey. Jordan is up and okay. Minute 17 remains here in the opening quarter. Go ahead, Jose.
Hopefully nothing too bad there for McCluskey. And like we said in previous game against San Diego, the defense didn't allow enough space or anything going for the Fury, which frustrated them. We saw a couple cards being led to that. But tonight, a lot more free space, a lot more offensive from the Stars. And hopefully that allows the Fury to get a couple opportunities going forward.
Nunez along with Jordan and De Abreu, the forwards up top. Hughes and Gonzalez, the two back for Ontario. Toth off his back line, well done from the goalkeeper. Nunez trying to shield off his defender. And West wins that battle for Tacoma. To the near side, and it is Pereira. Hughes trying to play some veteran defense on Pereira there. Like you said, Jose, if they can double up and just contain Pereira, they'll have a pretty good shot at trying to get something going themselves. 26.1 seconds remaining here in the opening quarter. Tornell to the near side. Tony Walls earning that ball for Ontario. Nice turn off the boards. No one on the back end. Charlie Gonzalez, the closest Fury player. And then a deflection from Tacoma. But they run on the break, and Toth getting back into position with 4 seconds now 3. That'll be the last play of the quarter. 2 seconds now 1. And the quarter is over here from Ontario. All tied after 1 quarter of play. As goal scorers for the game so far, Charlie Gonzalez. Charlie Gonzalez earns his 8th goal of the year. And the head coach and player, Nick Pereira. All tied at 1 after 1 quarter of play here. Pereira with his 6th goal of the season. The Ontario Fury would like to thank Miter USA providing today's match balls. Miter, founded in Huddersfield, England, is among the world's oldest sporting good brands, starting production in 1817. Miter is a proud partner of Major Arena Soccer League, providing arena-specific match balls to both the MASL and MASL2. The MASL and Miter share a long-term vision to see arena soccer grow in North America. Miter's Astro Division ball is the official game ball for MASL League play. Miter's Astro Division is designed specifically for play on artificial surfaces. It features a more accurate flight than the average ball and has a 30% reduced bounce to make it play more efficiently in arena soccer. You're watching Ontario Fury Soccer on MASL TV. You can catch every game on the league's official streaming home, MASL.tv, or on the MASL app. Download it for free on iTunes or from the Google Play Store. You can get the latest on the MASL and your favorite teams like the Ontario Fury. Make sure you're following MASL Soccer on Facebook and Instagram and MASL Arena on Twitter. You can also find Ontario Fury Soccer all over social media. All you have to do is search at Ontario Fury via Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Snapchat. So a 1-1 game so far, Jose, in that first quarter. We did see some opportunities from Ontario, more possession from Tacoma.
Yeah.
But what would you like to see here in the second quarter?
No more of the aggressiveness that we saw in the first 2 minutes for the Fury, not allowing the Tacoma Stars also to get comfortable on terms of them touching the ball like that. They were in the last couple of minutes, they seemed too comfortable on that. But you did see that each player going to a Tacoma player as soon as the ball got to their feet. So a lot more of that, and hopefully they could go ahead and break the stretch of the Tacoma Stars defensive block that they had there in the last couple of minutes of the first quarter, not allowing the Fury to get anything going offensively.
Updated score from State Farm Arena. It is a 3-2 Monterey Flash lead over the RGV Barracudas.
The Barracudas showing up these last couple games against San Diego Stars and against now Monterey, definitely showing that they're not an easy win to go over now, RGV. Shout out to the Barracudas.
Ontario still with that big goal differential so far in this young season, a plus 20 for Ontario as they work from left to right here in the second quarter of play. Live here from Ontario, California. MASL.tv brings you all the live action across the league. Tonight's other contests, Monterey and RGV. Next home game will be in next week, next year, really. In a couple weeks, I should say. January 3rd is the next home game against the Turlock Express. Ontario matching up early on and often with Turlock. That'll already be their fourth matchup. They head back up to Turlock on Saturday, just after this short week of rest here. After coming back down last night, head coach Jimmy Nordberg touched on they got back right around 2 o'clock in the morning. Wow. So a little bit of rest, a little bit of recovery, and then back onto the pitch. Here we are against Tacoma.
Yeah, and hopefully they could go 2-1 in this 3-game stretch over the weekend. They didn't get off in a good start against San Diego, but definitely turned the page against RGV. Did so here in the first couple of minutes in the first quarter, and let's hope they could get something going on here in the second quarter before the half ends.
Well, if Tacoma wins, they will take over first place in the Pacific. That'll boost them to an overall record of 4-1. Ontario would drop to a 4-2 record. So a lot at stake here tonight for both teams. Like you said, if they go 2-1 here, they're in good shape heading to another road game against Turlock on Saturday. Waltman looking over his options here. Laid off to the far side.
Yeah, and they do so get a victory here tonight, and on paper it should be as well for the next game in RGV. You could look at a start of 6-2 in the first 8 games. A spectacular start for the Fury. That happens, and all smiles all around for all the players of the Fury.
Well, the last handful of seasons, I believe the last, call it 3 seasons, Jose, they've had to scratch and claw their way into playoff contention each and every season. Let's hope they can maintain their record so far this season. 4-1 right now. And like you said, they do have an opportunity to go after 8 games at a 6-2 overall record. But we'll take it 1 quarter at a time here as we're in the second quarter here from Ontario. 12-15 left to go in the first half. Your goal scorers so far, Charlie Gonzalez for Ontario, Nick Pereira for Tacoma. Power play goal for Ontario. Tacoma with a lot of breathing room there to the far side. In the end, a deflected shot, and Hughes will settle things down. and play it off to Gonzalez.
And you like what you see from Hughes. Seen him on the defensive side, but also on the offense, getting a couple shots, and you see his leadership being a huge impact for the Fury, not only on this game, but throughout the season as well, and we'll see what he brings onto the table tonight.
Captain Cisse back onto the field for Ontario to the far side. Andy Reyes back onto the pitch, so a good sign there. Perez already out for tonight's contest. As to the far side, it is Cox. Does have Pereira down the middle, and Reyes with an own goal. It is a 2-1 Tacoma lead. So the pace and the ball was there for Tacoma to finish. Unfortunately for Reyes, it is an own goal, and Tacoma leads here 2-1 with 11:18 remaining in the second quarter.
Yeah, very unfortunate for Andy Reyes, but nothing you could do there. He saw that Nick Pereira was making the run in the end to close that shot there, so he tried to go and close that gap, but as he stands his right foot, it gets deflected into the back of the net. His momentum will carry that way. Nothing you could do there but shake it off, brush it off, and move on to the next play. With 11 and 15 left here in the second quarter, it is 2-1 Tacoma Stars as they've turned the score here, Brian.
Yeah, Reyes, I was just saying, nice to see him back onto the pitch and trying to make a defensive play there in a very dangerous spot. Gets an own goal, but like you just said, Jose, he'll have to brush it off and move forward here. Plenty of game left as we're just underway here in the second quarter.
Got plenty of time left, and the Fury have to be smart to know that there are
Cisse.
Oh, handball. It looked like a...
Cisse drove that ball for Ontario, and it might have taken a deflection there off the hand. No whistle there, and play on, and Nunez now, defended by Keats. Plays it off to Gonzalez. Tony Walls trying to tee it up. Trying to work a 1-2 to the near side. Broken up defensively there from Tacoma.
And now we're going to see a Tacoma team turn themselves on the defense as they got the lead here early in the second quarter, and see if the Fury could actually create that space to get shots on goal.
Well, it'll be a nice opportunity for the Fury to really press forward here and try and create something like you just said. But so far in tonight's contest, a lot of open space and a lot of opportunity as far as having shooting lanes, having passing lanes to work with. San Diego just does a heck of a job clogging the passing lanes and the shooting lanes like they did last matchup against Ontario just a few nights ago here from Citizens Business Bank Arena.
Yeah, but the touch that the Fury players have and the way they've been touching the ball and creating those spaces, they should be able to have something going for them in terms of getting a clear shot on goal. But so far, nothing tonight. But like we said, we want to see more of Tina Nunez. You know, he's able to get those players going in terms of getting a ball against his back and having people make the overlap run and putting those balls for them to get shots on goal.
Jordan back onto the pitch for Ontario. He's a little tricky. He doesn't show his speed too often, but here we go with Jordan. Right-footed shot attempt off of his dominant left foot. Lund with a nice back heel touch. And now Pereira to the far side, defended from Cisse. And I like that matchup again, as Cisse and Pereira will tangle up. Cisse winning that last battle, but ultimately a foul call on Cisse to the far side.
You like to see that aggressiveness out of Cisse when he doesn't have the height advantage there. And I don't know, the ref called the foul. They didn't see much of it there, but regardless, it's a foul.
Ontario claiming another handball, Jose, and seems as if the referees couldn't catch it this time as well. Well, referee did say play on. Maybe the Fury just trying to earn something there. Hughes back onto the pitch with De Abreu. And now Charlie Gonzalez in midfield. Nice turnout here for just a couple days away from Christmas. I thought more fans would be out shopping. I know I'm not done with my list.
Yeah, they able to get out here, enjoy the holiday music as well, the pre-games and pictures with Santa here at Citizens Business Bank Arena. So good crowd.
Charlie Gonzalez had an opportunity to lay it off to the far side. And now Nunez to the near side. Jose Gonzalez finds his brother on the switch of the field there.
Ooh.
A touch around one defender. That is Hughes. Back defensively is only Jose. And a 1-2 opportunity broken up there at the last second.
What a missed opportunity from the Stars. Not exactly sure what was going on in the counterattack that he had to go ahead and not cut inside. He kept going on to the hugging of the wall when he could have cut inside and get an opportunity there for the Stars. Didn't cut, so allowed the defensive player for the Fury to get back, and missed opportunity from the Stars.
Yeah, and they also had another Tacoma player driving into the play as well. Could have been a potential 2-on-none, really, against just Toth. But like you said, they just squandered an opportunity there, did Tacoma. Could have built off of this 2-1 lead already. But thankfully for Ontario, it remains a 2-1 game with 7:50 remaining here in the first half.
Yeah, hopefully they'll be able to capitalize now on that. You know what they say in soccer, opportunities that you miss are those the opportunities the team are able to capitalize right away. And see, hopefully here with 7:50 left in the second quarter, something from the Fury. We did see it in the earlier minutes, and hopefully it wasn't just because they were on the power play that we saw that aggressiveness for them, but we see that here in the remaining 7:50 and for what's left of the game.
Ontario Fury Soccer, driven by Mark Christopher Auto Center, National Community Corps Renaissance, and Casa Colina, also proud sponsors of your Ontario Fury. You're watching live action here from Citizens Business Bank Arena in Ontario, California, right here on MASL.TV. The other matchup tonight has the RGV Barracudas and the Monterey Flash, all tied up at 4 with 5.5 remaining.
Wow.
In the fourth quarter. So it was a 1-0 lead for Monterey, then it was a 3-1 lead. Then 3-2, now 4-4 from State Farm Arena. Another entertaining game right here on MASL.TV.
Now the Barracas now going quietly as they tied it up against a very good team of the Monterey Flash. Ooh.
Monterey just their second game of the season. Has some contact there with De Abreu. And I could not see who that was. I believe it was McCluskey, and it was. He is running okay, so good sign there. Quick restart for Tacoma. Cisse defending McCluskey to the far side. And now Francisco joining the fray. And Toth will ultimately play that ball to the near side.
Great defensive sequence again by A.Z. Cisse. Just the eagerness to go ahead and get on top of the ball and defend with at all will against McCluskey. Able to go ahead and get the ball back, and hopefully that same aggressiveness trickles down to the rest of the Fury players, which it has here in the season and so far tonight. Oof.
Now to the near side. That is Jose Gonzalez. We'll lay it off to Jordan. And there's that powerful left foot that I touched on last time he was on the field. Unfortunately, not the proper contact that he wanted to make on his laces. That sails up and out of bounds for Waltman and the visitors.
Yeah, and like you mentioned, he's a really tricky player because you see him on the pitch sort of trolleying, jogging around, and before you know it, he just bursts into that next speed, puts it on the next gear. So be careful on the lookout for that for Marcus Jordan here tonight.
Waltman well off his back line. Jordan, the lone Fury player, applying some sort of pressure. Head coach Jimmy Nordberg telling Jordan to step it up a little bit with Waltman being so far out. Tacoma now in there attacking third. Plenty of room there. You've got to be better than that defensively for Ontario. And Michael Ramos tees it up from distance. He gets his first goal of the season, and it's a 3-1 Stars lead.
Yeah, what a shot by Michael Ramos. We saw one taken by Charlie Gonzalez for the Fury earlier on. But the thing is here from the defensive side for the Fury, getting that space in front of them and closing that gap, not allowing that tonight. We saw that on the goal with Nick Pereira. We're seeing that on the goal here again with Ramos, able to get a shot with so much ease, another one in front of him. It's 3-1 Tacoma Stars here tonight, partner.
Ontario's going to have to inject themselves with some sort of energy here in the second quarter. With 6 minutes exactly remaining, that is a defensive clearance from the far side on Tacoma. And Ontario is really just going to have to really snap out of it. That own goal kind of took some air out of the arena, and now a 3-1 lead for the visitors.
The Fury just got to keep their heads inside the game, not let their shoulders down, not letting any shrug down, and keep on pressing forward. So far in the second quarter, we saw a more Fury team with the possession. Let's see more of that throughout the game.
It is Chico Francisco to the far side. Wallman on his toes to make that save. Toth well off his back line, and it is Hughes to touch it at the last second for Ontario. That smelled disaster written all over it, as Wallman did a heck of a job. That far side shot from Francisco. Charlie Gonzalez with the pressure now. Francisco caught flat-footed, and they'll speed right past him. Tacoma now on the break again, and it is an easy tip-in goal for Tacoma. They lead 4-1.
4-1 here for Tacoma. Unfortunate for the Fury as they were on the break offensively, putting the pressure on top against Tacoma. But once that happens, once you do go ahead and create that pressure, you allowed a player to get open here, and the Fury not able to go ahead and get back defensive in time. It's 4-1 Tacoma.
So 4 unanswered goals from the visitors of Tacoma. That ball squibbed through from the far side. An easy tap-in goal. The scary thing about these goals, Jose, although one goal was an own goal of Ontario, these goals are no doubters from Tacoma.
Yeah.
That might be a problem defensively for Ontario here with 5.5 remaining in the first half.
Yeah, something to definitely look out for remaining in the game and throughout the season, because you're going to face these Stars again. The way they go ahead and attack on the counter and see if possibly the Fury might consider not sending too much players, going pressure on top. Pressure is good, but we'll see moving forward.
So the next home game for your Ontario Fury, Thursday, January 3rd, a 7 p.m. local kickoff time. Come out for the next home game and see the Fury take on the Express for the 4th time this season. It will be, again, Thirsty Thursday here in the arena. So a packed house expected. All Ontario Fury and MASL games can be streamed on the MASL.TV channel or MASLsoccer.com. It's also a new look around the league, Jose. The Major Arena Soccer League begins its 5th season with 16 teams in 4 divisions. New teams this season include Orlando. They moved from Cedar Rapids, Mississauga up in Canada, and Utica, which moved from Syracuse. Utica City FC. And the Dallas Sidekicks return after 1 year out of the MASL. And unfortunately departed is the Solas de Sonora Mexico club. They did have a couple titles and matchups against the Baltimore Blast, Ron Newman Cup finalists up against the Baltimore Blast, Baltimore being successful in those 2 matchups. And then also the MASL 2. So a lot of indoor soccer action you can catch. MASL 2, the developmental league, begins its 2nd season, M2. Well, 5.5 remaining here in the first half, a 4-1 Tacoma lead as the Stars playing with that confidence and swagger from last night's matchup against San Diego. Let's see if the pace picks up here for Ontario. Nunez defended by Keats. No turnaround shot there. Reyes will lay it off to Walls. And not the right ball or pace that Walls wanted to make off the near side boards. But here we go again as Ontario maintaining possession. Nunez trying to win that ball. And now Lund to the far side. And intercepting is De Abreu. If they hurry, they have a counter. De Abreu just knocks the far side post. Couldn't ask any better from De Abreu. The hustle was there. The contact was there as he made that quality shot attempt. Unfortunately, not awarded in the finish there for De Abreu.
Let's see more of that. More of that run, more of those plays.
And that was a simple play, Jose.
Yeah.
A 1-2 from the far side boards, right in between a couple Tacoma players. And now Walls lays it off. That's right off of the far side glass. A foul call there. Asking for the card is Ontario. No card given, but a foul nonetheless. Let's see if they call a timeout here to set something up or take a quick opportunity. Nordberg and Lillivaugh letting Charlie Gonzalez know what to do here. A 1-2, not working there. Chico Francisco trying to make something happen. Claire will utilize the boards. A deflection off the referee. Nobody to the near side, unfortunately. Walls with the right idea along the far side. No one on the back end. If they hurry, it is Chico Francisco, and that ball just wide of his feet. So more pressure here coming from Ontario. Cisse now will not get the shot attempt off. Waltman quick off his line. Trying to not make contact there with the Tacoma goalkeeper. And now up and out of bounds off the foot of Keats. Ontario with a restart here. 3:28 remaining here in the first half. A lot of pressure there the last minute to a minute 15, Jose.
Yeah.
A couple of quality shot opportunities as well, but nothing found the back of the net. Wallman playing well to ensure the score remains 4-1.
Yeah, very well for the Fury in these last couple of minutes that we've seen so far. And a lot more shaky are the Tacoma Stars in the backside. Nothing going for them offensively, but a couple of mistakes in the back. Fortunately enough for them, the Fury are not able to capitalize, and it's still a 3-goal lead for the Tacoma Stars.
A whistle right down the middle of the pitch for Andy Reyes in Ontario. Another set-piece opportunity here. The last one was squandered with Gonzalez and Walls. This has Nunez to his left, Hughes to his right. Reyes will lay it off to Nunez. Nunez will tee off, and nice save there from Waltman. Hughes on the rebound. No good there. Up and out of bounds. That ball sails to the far side. Nordberg's waving his hands as if to say, let's go, let's go, let's go. Keep this momentum up here.
Yeah, you love the intensity the Fury are bringing to it in the last couple of minutes. Hopefully we would have seen that more throughout the game and not when you're down 3 goals here, but more of that, and the Fury will definitely cut into the lead here.
They're in the same position as Tacoma, coming off a back-to-back and making that drive from Turlock, about 7 hours away. And I know these boys are fit. Matt Holguin, the strength and conditioning coach, has these guys as fit as can be. So fitness not the concern here. It's just the mentality of that up-tempo pace that's much needed to be successful in the MASL, especially playing a team against Tacoma. Nipping on their heels in second place as Waltman now lays it off to Cox. And to the near side they work. Maintaining possession here. Francisco back onto the pitch for Ontario. Reyes pressuring now as well. And there's Jordan making contact. No foul call there. Referee does say play on. And now Pereira coughs that ball up. Claims that he was fouled. No whistle there. Toto will take his time and lay it off to the far side with 2 minutes remaining on the clock here from Ontario.
And you can see the patience of the Tacoma Stars players when they have the ball in their feet. They don't get desperate. They don't have any mistakes when they're touching it on there. So the Fury players gonna have to capitalize on one of those mistakes or create a mistake sooner rather than later. What a shot.
A shot just wide. And now Maicon De Abreu is gonna be rewarded for his effort and efficiency there, making contact. It is a 4-2 Tacoma lead.
It's only a matter of time, Brian, for the Fury to get one back as they've been attacking for the last 2 to 3 minutes. And finally, Michael Abreu able to get a shot. But you know what also has been impeding the Fury from getting a goal back is the goalkeeper of the Tacoma Stars, Danny Wallman, able to go ahead and get 2-3 clean saves before that goal gets in the back. But Michael just strikes it as in to say, you're not stopping this one, brother. 4-2, Tacoma and the Fury are coming with everything now.
That makes it his 3rd goal on the season. Charlie Gonzalez with the other goal, making his 8th of the season. So minute 30 remaining, a 4-2 Tacoma lead, unassisted from that De Abreu goal. Let's see if they can close out this half. Jose with a little bit of energy here. The next goal is crucial, whether it be from Tacoma or Ontario. As Walls maintaining possession, a minute 10 remaining here in the first half.
Yeah, crucial last minute here, not to allow any goals for the Stars to get in the back of the net, but for the Fury, most importantly, hopefully they could get another one back. Will be perfect to end the half.
Chico Francisco's right-footed shot attempt is deflected. 45 seconds now remain for Toth and company. Cisse trying to play with some pace here with time winding down. Contact there from Pereira. He'll earn a foul call. Set piece, a quick restart to Reyes along the far side. Tried to get it into Walls to the far side, but with 30 seconds remain, here comes Tacoma. It is Keats. He'll lay it off to Ramos. And now to the near side, that's deflected. I believe that was actually not deflected, just a shot off target there, off the foot of Kyrell.
And what we were saying earlier too, the Fury had to be careful of those counterattacks. And luckily enough, once again, the Tacoma Stars not able to strike that counterattack effectively, and it's still a 2-goal lead for them.
Up and out of bounds, that touch off of the foot of Nunez. 11.5 seconds remain here in the first half. Don't forget to tune in to the halftime segment here from Citizens Business Bank Arena, right here on MASL.TV.
Ooh.
Last seconds winding down here. And I told you the next goal is going to be crucial, whether it be Tacoma or not. And with 1.4 seconds remaining, that would have been a backbreaker in this game.
Yeah, absolutely. Fortunately enough for Ontario there, the ball does not go in the back of the net and are able to get that out. And it's 4-2 here at the end of the second quarter. Fury down by 2.
So halftime score here from Citizens Business Bank Arena. You're watching live action right here on MASL.TV. Myself and Jose Duran coming up here shortly with a brief recap here from Ontario. So Jose, that first half, we saw some energy at some moments for Ontario. Unfortunately, not the energy that they needed to maintain throughout the half. They did maintain it throughout the first, I would say, half of that second quarter. Still down by 2 goals, still need to inject some sort of consistency when they hit that level of consistency, whether it be applying pressure, whether it be creating shot opportunities,
Medina into the back of the net. Medina! Go for the birthday boy!
Second half, just seconds away, Jose, a 4-2 Tacoma lead. As we saw bright spots towards the end of that first half. Got a goal back. It was an own goal, and it should be 3-2 right now. But nonetheless, a 4-2 lead for the visitors. The Tacoma Stars looking good on the ball, off the ball, a lot more speed, a lot more pace coming from the visitors. Let's see if the home team, Ontario Fury, can match that intensity and pace here in the third quarter.
Yeah, we'll see if they could go ahead and get the same intensity that we saw in the first half for the Fury, allowing them to get a goal back and cut to that 3-goal deficit lead. And the Tacoma Stars a little shaky in the back to close the half. Hopefully the Fury see the same here to start the third quarter.
Well, I touched on it just before the half ended there. And the next goal would be a crucial goal. And with 1.4 seconds remaining, Tacoma nearly added on to their lead here. Thankfully for Ontario, that ball remained out of the back of the net. And here we are, 4-2, just underway in the third quarter. Ontario working from right to left on the broadcast. The new side of the arena for all you fans out there. If you notice, now we can see the players hopping on and off the pitch. A little bit more action as well. And then that also important Ontario Fury logo facing you fans as well. Pereira with the layoff attempt there. Thankfully, Tacoma did not get a shot off there, as Yurtsin, the Tacoma Star, who had Chris Toth off his back line as well. So
that had played a huge reason why the Tacoma player not able to get a shot on goal there, as Chris Toth comes off his line just enough to go ahead and make him doubt himself as taking the shot. Gets him enough time to the defender to get back in place, and it's still 4-2.
So still waiting for that oh-so-important next goal of the contest here tonight. Two Pacific Divisional teams leading the division. 4-1 overall is your Ontario Fury. 3-1 overall for the visitors. Tacoma coming off of a victory down in San Diego just last night. So both teams on that same fatigue level, if you want to call it that. As Ontario making the drive back down from Turlock. Tacoma making the drive up from San Diego. Nonetheless, a back-to-back couple days here. 3 games in 4 days for Ontario specifically. If they can come away with a 2-1 record in those 3 games in 4 days, we call that a success. That also would keep them in first place if Tacoma did not come out victorious tonight. If they do, Jose, it is a flip-flop with first and second place. Robert Tornell playing some nice defense there near midfield.
So see the importance of this game here tonight in terms of standings, momentum. You win this one, you feel like the San Diego game might have been just a mix-up, and see the Fury could capitalize here.
Andy Reyes took maybe one extra touch too much as the ball was bouncing there for Reyes. Toth off his back line will have some trouble there, and to the rescue, it is Israel Cisse. Well done from the captain, Toth, as he was trying to play that ball off the wall. I kind of recognized it playing off of a different line, as Walls, not the quality shot attempt to the far side, a little frustrated for himself, but deep ball sent in again, and Toth skies that opportunity there. Well done from the veteran goalkeeper, but still a mix-up near midfield. It looks like there's still a little too much space for Tacoma to work with as they reset and await some fresh bodies onto the field. But I did touch on, Jose, as Toth was coming off to play that ball to the far side, it was a little too far to the far side boards.
Yeah.
Not too close to the box there. And Toth, with the pace that was on that ball, had some difficulty there. Izzy Cisse disrupted a potential Ramos goal. And here we are 4-2 with 11.5 remaining here in the third quarter.
And the slide from Izzy, you see why exactly he's the captain. And throughout the game, we were mentioning the grit and the aggressiveness that he brings inside for the Fury team. And we're seeing that there. And with 4 minutes gone by so far, the Tacoma Stars looking way too comfortable on the offensive side and touching the ball on the Fury.
As we get the overall field view here, Jose Gonzalez letting Megson run free at the top. He's going to have to play a little closer to the goal side there. I don't know if he's just trying to draw him off defensively. Jordan holding it into the attacking third. Gonzalez unsuccessful in getting a shot opportunity there, but more pressure here from De Abreu and Gonzalez.
A good pressure put up here by the Fury. Just don't let them get comfortable there. And, you know, as we know, the goalkeepers for the most part, aren't comfortable with the ball on their foot. And we'll see if the Fury could get or capitalize rather on a mistake here on the backside for the Tacoma Stars.
Wallman playing Keats to the far side. Gonzalez still pressuring here for Ontario. Ontario and Utica City FC, he tied for the best records so far in all of the MASL. The goals for Utica City FC ahead of Ontario by 4. The goals against is Charlie Gonzalez with some disruption there, but a whistle as Keats, the man tangled up. Doesn't look good for Keats and Tacoma.
Even then rather easy there, but again, it's that pressure that we see constantly from being implemented by the Fury here. They might have gotten one away with here. The referee says no, it was a foul. Could have gone either way, but you like what you're seeing from the Fury. Disrupt them, don't make them feel comfortable. With 9 minutes and 37 seconds left here in the third quarter, pretty evenly matched quarter so far, Brian.
Yeah, I saw that tangle up with Gonzalez and Keats. It didn't look like he made contact with him. Maybe Keats tangled up with the turf and the ball. It happened such a bang-bang play. But let's hope that Keats is okay. He seemed to be holding his right leg, maybe his calf, as Keats is going to walk off on his own power, which is a good sign. Unfortunately, he is showing a little bit of a limp there. So the restart coming for Wallman and company along the far side. .9:37 remaining here in the third quarter.
Tacoma Stars like doing this, like touching off the back, and see if they could create a foul there. Yep.
As Jordan creating pressure and showing a little frustration is Hansen. A 50-50 ball turned into a foul and a minor penalty for Tacoma. Another power play coming up for the home team Ontario Fury.
Yeah, the same pressure that we've been seeing throughout once the second half started, throughout the first half and first quarter, second quarter, we saw some of it, but they were able to go ahead and get the Tacoma Stars counter offensive plays going forward. But luckily for the Fury, able to go ahead and create pressure, and let's see if they can capitalize here.
So let's see if they can make it their third successful power play of the season. Already successful in the first quarter. Nunez to the near side. Wallman literally hugs the wall to make sure that ball stays out of the net. 2 of 8 so far are the Fury on the power play for the season. 1:35 remaining here on the minor penalty for kicking to Tacoma's Hansen. So that more of that pressure here picked up in the third quarter. Jose, with the forwards really pressing the back line. This forces another power play for Ontario.
Yeah, we hope to see they capitalize here and get a goal back as they did when the original power play started in the first quarter.
Nunez lets loose. He got way too under that ball. He apologizes to his teammates. Francisco Reyes, Nunez, Gonzalez, and Hughes on the pitch for this power play. Essentially 4 forwards and 1 defender. In this instance, it is Charlie Gonzalez playing on the back line with Hughes. Pereira will settle things down, going in between 2 players, and then drag down. And a foul call ultimately on the head coach, newly appointed head coach, and Nick Pereira. Did have a season here in Ontario. And now Charlie Gonzalez. Boy, that would have been a mirror image. Handball to the far side and called, and then a restart for Charlie Gonzalez. In the end, a save for Wallman, and getting the break on Charlie Gonzalez is Jamel Cox. And playing off the back line is Toth. He turns that ball over. It is Keats, so nice to see him back onto the pitch. So shaken up after that contact with Reyes just a minute ago. 30 seconds remain on the power play for Ontario.
Important for them to get a goal, but make sure they don't get any goals conceded on the side for the Fury.
Hughes to the near side, plays it off the wall, settles down for Reyes. He'll lay it up to Gonzalez just over the goal there. Reyes trying to make some contact there to keep it in play. And Keats and company have that ball bounce up and out of bounds. Thankfully, it jumps out of bounds. That would have been a 2-on-1 partially if Hughes was getting back in enough time. But with 6 seconds left, they're going to have to create some magic here. Assistant coach Bernie Lillivaugh trying to stop play here. But with 7.5, here we go. On the restart, just 3 seconds left on the power play. Chico Francisco unsuccessful in a clear shooting lane, and the kill is successful for Tacoma.
Yeah, the Fury were extremely fortunate there that the ball bounced out of bounds. Not able to go ahead and get a goal back on the power play, but very fortunate not to get a goal scored on as well.
Cisse creating some dangerous momentum here, and wow! The save of the game so far belongs to Wallman off the foot of Nunez.
You know, his fingertips are burning after that shot. Well, rocket shot rather than Tino Nunez able to save Wallman. But what a save in the back there by the goalkeeper.
Nunez got all of that shot, all laces right level of the volley, right on net. Quality attempt there for Ontario. Score remains 4-2 with 6.5 remaining in this third. I like what I'm seeing in this third quarter. I don't know what was said in that locker room at halftime, but Jose, we're seeing a completely different Ontario team.
Yeah, a team with more confidence. The ball's more on their feet. They're creating opportunities, and we want to see more of that. Get Tino Nunez involved, and he'll see if he can put one in the back as he gets a foul called on his favor.
So Nunez earns the foul call to the near side. Tornell in the mix as well. 2 out of the 3 original roster players. Actually, all 3 of them are on the pitch right now. Cisse, Nunez, and Tornell. After that quick restart, De Abreu's shot attempt is blocked. And now Toth will lay to the near side to Gonzalez. Nobody up top for him to play. And he'll wait to restart with Toth. Now Jose Gonzalez to the far side. Nunez up top. Creating another shot attempt. Man, so quick. Nunez is one of the smartest players on the ball when he has a defender to his back.
Yeah.
He'll create some sort of shot opportunity 9 out of 10 times, or set up one of his teammates with a layoff attempt or what have you. But this time, last 2 quality shot attempts belong to number 25, Tino Nunez.
Yeah, and like we mentioned throughout the broadcast, we want to see him get more involved and see more of that, because once he has that, like, there's no one that can stop him. He's one of the top players in the league of shielding the ball when he has his back against the goal, and like you said, creating his own plays, getting a shot off for himself, or able to go ahead and set the ball in the overlapping run of a teammate, putting them in exactly the positions that they want him to. So let's see if they can get him more involved, get a couple goals in the back of the net. 5:49 left in the third quarter, more than enough time to do so, but you just got to be on top defensively and not let anything from the Tacoma Stars to go for the rest of the 5 minutes and 49 seconds left here in the third quarter.
So Tacoma will have a little bit of a break as well. They'll continue their play after the first of the year. They match up against El Paso on January 4th, and then just a couple days after that, they will play against RGV Barracudas. All 3 of these games, they're on a 4-game road trip right now. Last night was in San Diego. Tonight here in Ontario. They'll travel out to El Paso and then RGV, and then they'll play some home games consecutively, 3 home games, all against, I should say 2 out of the 3 against the Pacific Division. Monterey will come to town and visit Acesso Showwear, and then Ontario, then San Diego. So a nice little stretch of some pretty good teams that they're playing in Monterey, in San Diego, in Ontario. They'll come up and play at Acesso Showwear. But before that, they'll travel out to El Paso and RGV before settling home for a 3-game stand on the 11th. Ooh. Pressuring here is Jose Gonzalez. Does have Reyes. Plays him off the near side walls. Reyes not making that good a contact there, and they'll turn their ball over. McCluskey now defended by Hughes. And this quarter has the most action so far in tonight's contest. 5.5 remaining here in the third quarter of play from Ontario. Happy holidays. So glad you can join us right here on MASL.TV. A turnover there, and Jose could not capitalize on that turnover from Tacoma on the back line. But it is Ramos. Quality shot attempted there. Toth may have gotten a finger or two on that ball to steer it wide.
Yeah, quality shot, but again, letting them way too much space in front of them to get an actual shot there. Not sure if Toth got fingertips or not to it, but so far in the third quarter, not a lot of goals, but like you said, the most action that we've seen tonight has come out of this third quarter.
Here we go with Nunez again to the far side. Trying to earn something there. Ultimately, it is a foul on the veteran Nunez.
You like to see him get those fouls. Not that the fouls, you like to see fouls called on him, but if he's getting those calls, that means that he's putting himself in those positions to be successful tonight.
De Abreu deflecting that ball from Waltman. They're saying it is a defensive clearance, or claiming a defensive clearance on Tacoma. But a restart just inside the yellow line here for Ontario. Charlie Gonzalez stands over the ball. He does have Tornell immediately to his right. Nunez along the near side boards. Pereira and Kyrell in that wall, and they'll do their job successfully. Man, what a game just wrapping up. Unofficially, RGV and Monterey all finished after an overtime win for Monterey, 6-5.
Wow.
That the only other game on tilt tonight across the MASL. Nunez working against two defenders. Pereira and De Abreu dancing along the near side. Pereira says, let's get some breathing room here and some fresh bodies onto the pitch. 4 minutes remain here in the third quarter. Cisse showing a little glitz and glamour, defended by his former teammate Pereira. Does have Nunez, will utilize him, defended by Keats. And now Cisse off the 1-2. And Cox defended there well for Tacoma.
But that's what Nunez brings to you, and that connection of Israel Cisse and Nunez, great veteran leadership there. Just make the runs to the space, and he's going to put you there to get a clean shot, and that's exactly what Nunez did for Easy.
Wallman so smart off the back line, winning that head ball against De Abreu and clearing the zone defensively. As I look across the pitch to head coach Jimmy Nordberg, he's doing the same thing, Jose. Let's go, let's go, let's go, making that hand motion to his boys with 3 minutes remaining here in the third quarter. They've done a fantastic job here in the third quarter. Let's see who gets rewarded before the buzzer sounds.
Yeah, they've been pressuring and definitely getting a lot more opportunities here in the third quarter, but not to the avail of getting a goal in the back of the net. So 2 minutes and 40 seconds left here in the third. Hopefully the Fury.
Hughes sprinting down the pitch as he waits for fresh bodies onto the field as well. Tornell in support for Toth. Right at midfield is Charlie Gonzalez. Defender at his back is Walls, draws two defenders. Hits the turf, foul call there. Quick restart unavailable for Walls.
Huge set plays here. I feel if the Fury could get a great quality look, they'll be able to put it in the back of the net with 2 minutes and 19.
Charlie Gonzalez over the ball. Walls to his left, Cisse and Jordan to his right. Tornell up top as the point man offensively. Tried to get it to him unsuccessfully. Jordan didn't have a quality shot attempt there. And now it's a race to the ball with Cisse. Cisse pulling his hamstring. And it looks like Tacoma, thankfully, no shot attempt off there. And this is not a good sign, Fury fans, that Captain Izzy Cisse pulling up with a lame hamstring.
Yeah, definitely not something anyone wants to see here as the crowd goes quiet here in Citizens Business Bank Arena. It did not look good. Again, it goes back to second game of a back-to-back. Long trip from Turlock, 7-hour drive here. Players are exhausted. You see that hamstring just give out halfway for Israel Cisse. And when a player does that, go straight to the ground on a counterattack, you know it's not anything good.
Well, Jose, as former players on and off the turf, we both know non-contact injuries are one of the worst, and no more tedious injury than a hamstring injury. Couldn't come at a worse time for the home team Ontario Fury, with Adrian Perez out due to a concussion. Other minor injuries across the roster as well. And now we see the rookie warming up, Debre Holloman, the defender, with the game-winning goal in Turlock last night. Looks like he'll make an appearance tonight as the captain, Izzy Cisse, being helped off the pitch right now. Not a good sign, but in the end, on his own power.
His night's done here, and hopefully we're able to see him soon rather than later. But with these hamstring injuries, it could be tricky, but hopefully other players get step up. But like you mentioned, unfortunate for the Fury once Adrian Perez went down, and seeing how easy go down with 2 minutes left in the third.
So Tornell will restart here with Toth along the near side. And it'll just be moments until Holloman makes his way onto the field. Cisse in disgust right now. No worse feeling than getting an injury, no matter what sport, really. But as of right now, Cisse doesn't look like he'll make it back to the pitch tonight.
Yeah, those hamstring injuries definitely won't see him tonight for the rest of the game. The way he went down doesn't look good.
McCluskey and Hansen trying to disrupt this third quarter. Hughes playing some defense there and called for somewhat of a ticky-tack foul along the near side boards. Minute 28 remaining here in the third quarter. Citizens Business Bank Arena, the site of some exciting Ontario Fury soccer. It's sixth season for Ontario here. Almost a set piece play that worked out to perfection. McCluskey with that back heel deflection.
The 6'3" frame of Nick Pereira just causes so much trouble for defenses in the back.
Hansen trying to let loose there. Somewhat of a hesitation for Hansen. Didn't get the quality shot attempt needed to be successful. A 4-2 score still remains here in the third. A minute 11 as the youngster, Debre Holloman, onto the pitch for the first time tonight.
We'll see what he could bring with a minute in the third and for the rest of the game, as rookies and players who usually don't get as many minutes are going to be called on tonight with the absence of Adrian Perez and now is Izzy Cisse.
First noticeable thing from the rookie Holloman, as Wallman plays that ball off his line, and a successful save there.
I think he called a penalty there, or a foul for the Fury.
On Tino, I did not see who the referees called that on.
Well, originally it seemed like he was going to call it against Tino. That's what I thought at first, but he gets a call for the Ontario Fury, and it's going to be a great look for a set piece here. I enjoy and appreciate set pieces so much because these are opportunities to get on top when there's no play going for you.
Reyes has Charlie Gonzalez to his right, steers it to Nunez. That walked the fine line of the back goal line there and remained out.
How did that not go in, Brian? That just danced all the way through across, and not a Fury player to come in the backside who just put that final nail in and put it in the back of the net. And for the Tacoma Stars, fortunately enough, it's still 4-2.
Wallman pinched up against the near side boards, did his job there, literally squeaked through and danced and spun right on that goal line, remained out. And with 20 seconds remaining here, still a 4-2 lead for Tacoma. Pereira with the back heel to Lund. And Toth off of his back line will play the ball deep for Nunez. 7 seconds remain. Now 6 and 5. Looking for reinforcements. Nothing doing there. Matt Clare will break it up. And there goes the third quarter.
And just like that, 3 quarters of play done here on Citizens Business Bank Arena. No action from Tacoma or Ontario on either side. The fourth quarter is going to be exciting to say the least, and see exactly what gameplay we see from Tacoma. If it's a more defensive, or they're going to be going back and forth with the Fury.
The Ontario Fury would like to thank Mitre USA for providing today's match balls. Mitre, founded in Huddersfield, England, is among the world's oldest sporting goods brands, starting production in 1817. Mitre is a proud partner of Major Arena Soccer League, providing arena-specific match balls to both the MASL and MASL2. The MASL and Mitre share a long-term vision to see arena soccer grow in North America. Mitre's Astro Division ball is the official game ball for MASL League play. Mitre's Astro Division is designed specifically for play on artificial surfaces. It features a more accurate flight than the average ball and has a 30% reduced bounce to make it play more efficiently in arena soccer. You're watching Ontario Fury Soccer on MASL TV. Catch every game on the league's official streaming home, MASL.tv, or on the MASL app. Download it for free on iTunes or from the Google Play Store. You can also get the latest news on the MASL and your favorite teams. Make sure you are following MASL Soccer on Facebook and Instagram, and MASL Arena on Twitter. You can also follow Ontario Fury Soccer, which is driven by Mark Christopher Auto Center, Casa Colina, and National Community Corps Renaissance, also proud sponsors for the Ontario Fury. You can find them if you search at Ontario Fury. For social media via Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Snapchat as well. So after 3 quarters of play, Jose, it is a 4-2 Tacoma Stars lead. A dominant third quarter of action there, driven by the Ontario Fury, and no reward found. More importantly, the captain, Izzy Cisse, out with a hamstring injury, questionable, highly unlikely to return here in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, fortunate for players like Izzy Cisse, that's exactly the injury that tends to happen when you're that aggressor, you play with that grit, where sometimes you probably need to conserve some of those runs or not. You see him in the first quarter, you want to see him later on in the game. Regardless of it, not on him. We're going to have to see a Fury team step up here without a key player, without their captain, without Adrian Perez, and see exactly what they're made out of. It's not going to be an easy task to complete, but if you could go ahead and get a victory out of a game like this tonight, what that does to morale and what that does moving forward, it's going to be a great victory if that happens tonight.
Yeah, they'll get some rest after tonight's matchup here in Ontario. Another home game on January 3rd against Turlock. And then not until the end of the month of January, on the 20th, they'll play host again to these very same Tacoma Stars. A 5 p.m. local time start on January 20th. In between those games, they do play host to Turlock. They'll head down to San Diego. And then the following week, also head down to San Diego. And then fly up to Tacoma, to Kent, Washington, to play again these Tacoma Stars. So a Pacific Division littered January for the home team Ontario Fury. As a fourth quarter of play just underway here from Ontario. A 4-2 Tacoma lead. Ontario working from left to right here in the fourth and final quarter.
Look at the way Andy Reyes is just running and playing. You know, he has that little thorn in the back of his back after what happened in the own goal, and he wants to redeem himself after that.
He'll have to continue to work here in the fourth quarter to ensure he redeems himself, at least goal-wise. Tony Walls earns the ball back. If he hurries, he does have Charlie Gonzalez to the near side. Plays it to him, and now Francisco to the far side. Ping-pongs around, and still Francisco with a shot just wide. And now Gonzalez and Tornell working against Tacoma along the near side boards. They maintain possession.
Yeah, you could tell goalkeeper Wallman there had no idea. He was stuck in no man's land once those balls were bouncing around everywhere. But for the Fury, more of that. Keep on going. Even though they didn't get a goal there, sequences in the last third quarter and this fourth quarter to begin, a lot more aggressiveness we're seeing from the Fury.
Key to the third quarter success, aside from putting the ball into the net, Jose, a lot of speed, a lot of momentum, very little foul calls there. That third quarter absolutely flew by.
Yeah.
And you got to believe Tacoma's feeling a little bit of a burn playing on their back-to-back after that victory down in San Diego last night. Let's see if Ontario continues on to press. To the near side, it is the youngster. Just wide of the net was Holloman. Did score the game-winning goal last night in Turlock. Charlie Gonzalez with a lot of space. Decides to chip it in and just off the right heel of the youngster, the rookie Holloman. And what a test that was last night up in Turlock as well. After getting out to a 2-goal lead, Turlock came back, tied it up on 3 different occasions. Thankfully, Ontario gets out of Turlock with a W, and here they are in first place at an overall record of 4-1 in the Pacific.
Yeah, it wasn't a pretty win last night, but it's one of those ugly, gritty victories that you get when, obviously, when you're playing, the field is not at the great as it is anywhere else, but that's not an excuse. Both teams are playing on it, able to go ahead and get a victory and hopefully get back-to-back wins here tonight.
Pereira with a handball along the near side after a deep ball was sent in from Waltman. He played it cool, too. He almost got away with that handball there. The newly named head coach of the Tacoma Stars, player coach Nick Pereira. Switch of the field to Hughes. 1v1 against Claire. 2 former San Diego Sockers teammates going 1v1. Reyes finds Walls to that far side. Now Walls collects again for Ontario. Hughes will try and get past that big frame of Pereira unsuccessfully, but Toth on the restart.
Just got to be patient if you're the Fury. 11:40 left here in the fourth. Plenty of time to get a goal back or two and tie this game up.
Well, Tacoma had 4 unanswered goals of their own in the first half after being down 1-0. Hughes with that deflection after that pass from Hughes. West directs some traffic, and Tacoma restarting here with 11:15 remaining here in the fourth quarter. Reyes pressuring along the near side. Wallman feels no pressure, and he'll chip out the long ball all the way down the pitch to the near side to Megson.
If you're the Star, you're loving this. Time's ticking. You have possession. Fury not getting anything going forward as much as they were a couple of minutes ago, and you're on your way to get out of here with a victory.
They're going to have to do something special here in the fourth quarter. Ontario to either tie this game up or take the lead. Starts with 1 goal at a time, 1 possession at a time offensively, and Tacoma's out on the break. Jose Gonzalez, well done from the second-year player. Another product of the local Inland Empire. And now Chico Francisco did have De Abreu for a split second there.
Better ball there for Abreu, and would have been a 1v1 opportunity.
Toth, well past midfield. Acting as a 6th attacker, will let loose a deflection there. Jose Gonzalez will take a shot as well. More deflections. Shot again. Save, a body save really from Waltman there. And Lund will settle things down momentarily.
That Wallman again caught in no man's land. As Chris Toth able to push forward. No one in front of you. Why not? Go ahead and take that space as we see the Tacoma Stars. All of their players on the defensive side with 9 minutes and 30 seconds left here in the fourth.
So Toth so far acting like the extra attacker just a minute ago. We'll see if that trend continues here in the fourth quarter. Pereira to the near side. He'll take some time off the clock and utilize Keats.
On one side, we have Tino Nunez, the way he plays with the ball, with the back against his goal. Another expert here, number 10, Nick Pereira, the way he does that and able to go ahead and get his team going. Only him could do that for the Tacoma Stars and actually be a player coach as well.
Just under 9 minutes left to play here in the fourth quarter. Hanson with plenty of room at the last second. Talk about redemption for Reyes. Well done to step into the shooting lane there, disrupting the wide open shot attempt from Hanson.
Yeah, again, once the spaces open up for the Tacoma Stars, they're able to go ahead and get clear opportunities. But 1 or 2, 3 plays from the Stars that just the player with the ball on his foot not able to go ahead and make the right decision when it has to be, has cost them. And hopefully for the Fury that they're able to capitalize on that and get a couple of goals here.
Prayer now for Tacoma. Lays it off to Cox, and Claire will utilize Waltman to the near side. 8 minutes remain here in the fourth quarter. Majority of this fourth quarter and all of the third quarter really belonging to Ontario. But Tacoma still with the lead. Off the head of Megson. Finds its way to Cox to the far side, and now Claire.
Fury needs something going for them, and even if it's a foul or a blue card for the Tacoma, get something like that sorts and see if they could capitalize and put the exact same pressure that they've been doing.
Tornell with the pressure now for Ontario. Wallman draws in Jordan and will play with his left foot to the far side. Timeout onto the pitch with 7 minutes, 23 seconds remaining here in the fourth quarter. Ontario Fury Soccer, driven by Mark Christopher Auto Center. Proud sponsor of your Ontario Fury, along with National Community Corps Renaissance and Casa Colina as well. So for Ontario, like we did mention just a second ago, the next home game will be January 3rd, followed by January 20th. In between the 3rd and 20th of January, a trio of games against two very good opponents in Tacoma and San Diego. Let's see if they can remain in first place in January as well. If Tacoma does win here tonight, Jose, it'll be a flip-flop of first and second teams in the Pacific in Ontario and Tacoma. And Tacoma still will travel on the road.
But the Pacific Division is stacked this year from what looks like. They're already well Ontario Fury team, regardless of what happens tonight, with 4 wins earlier in the season and Tacoma Stars handing the first defeat to the San Diego Sockers. It's going to be a division that all 3 teams and the Turlock Express is definitely going to go ahead and make a name for themselves on there. But as we see the powerhouse as the season goes on, it's San Diego, Tacoma, and Ontario in that division.
Well, they'll have a couple games against some Southwest divisional opponents in El Paso, who's currently 0-2, and RGV, who is now 1-3 after the 6-5 overtime loss to Monterey just taking place this evening. And then afterwards, they'll face Monterey after RGV. So in comes Toth on the attacking half for Ontario. Lays it to the far side. We got Toth, Tornell, Hughes, Gonzalez, Nunez, and De Abreu on the field for Ontario. Lillevoix and Nordberg letting the team know what to lay out here. Tornell trying to maintain possession for Ontario, does successfully do so after the shot attempt wasn't there. And now Tornell generating a chance there offensively with 6:40 now remaining here in the fourth quarter. Standing up defensively is De Abreu. If they hurry, it'll be an even attack 3-on-3. Gonzalez tries to get around McCluskey. And now De Abreu. Onto the field is Jose Gonzalez. Setting up Hughes, and now De Abreu. He'll tee off. shooting lanes blocked. Charlie Gonzalez with a half volley attempt there, unsuccessful. And now Tacoma with numbers as Toth, the veteran goalkeeper, off of his head. A tangle up near midfield, no call there. Ball jumps up and out of bounds. So unfortunately for De Abreu and company, no foul call there. Still wouldn't have been in a dangerous area offensively, but nonetheless generating possession. And here we are with Toth. 5:55 remaining here in the fourth quarter. A 4-2 Tacoma lead. The next couple minutes, I would say, Jose, are very crucial to see if they can make this comeback complete.
Yeah, absolutely. And the way the Tacoma Stars are playing, it's opening up for the Fury to get one back sooner rather than later. And because I feel Tacoma Stars are great when they're on the offensive and not so much here on the defense.
Wow. Chico Francisco was trying to steer that to the far side. It actually made its way past Waltman, and on the back line, Tacoma with the extra defender. And then off the actual shot attempt was Reyes. Still a 4-2 lead for Tacoma. 5:10 remaining here in the fourth quarter. The extra attacker, if you want to call it that, is Toth playing in his offensive half. Hughes teeing it up and lets loose. Not the shot attempt that he wanted, as Waltman directing his defenders to get a little bit more aggressive here. Fresh bodies onto the field for Ontario. Tornell, Jordan, De Abreu, Reyes, and Holloman, the rookie, along with Toth. Boy, this second half, Jose, all in all, just flying by.
Yeah.
Nearly too many men on the pitch again for Tacoma. Pereira literally jumping up and over the bench to avoid that.
That's going to take something like that for the Fury to get back into this, because the Tacoma Stars are just all in the back defending now.
Foul there, no foul call, as Toth was tripped up on what would have been a shot attempt. Time winding down here, 4:15 remain now in the fourth quarter. Holloman into Chico Francisco.
You got to strike it.
In the end, no shot attempt there. Toth trying to tee it up. They'll play it off to Holloman. Francisco. No shot attempt there in the end. McCluskey to the far side. Toth making his way back into the net. And out to the near side. Kyrell will utilize his defensive line and eat up some more of the clock.
Yeah, we'll see.
3:40 remaining. Jose, go ahead.
We'll see when the extra player comes in for the Fury, too. Got to look at that.
Claire with all types of real estate right down the middle of the pitch. And West might have put the nail in the coffin tonight against Ontario. That play was dragged out to the very last second, and West with another easy finish for Tacoma.
Yeah, that might be it there, Brian, for the final nail in the coffin. It's 5-2 with 3:30 left in the quarter, but defensively for the Fury, we've been mentioning it, they had to be on their heels when they're getting the counterattack. And right there, Robert Chinell just kept going back, and not forward towards the defender. However, though, to his defense, he did have a defender possibly making that overnight lap, but you worry about that later. You go with what's in front of you. He did not, and it's a 3-goal lead once again.
So Tacoma weathering the storm in the third quarter, weathering some of the storm here in the fourth quarter. Now with 3:31 remaining in the fourth quarter, it is a 5-2 Tacoma lead. Really sucking the air out of the arena on that last goal is Tacoma. The biggest news of tonight, the captain Izzy Cisse with a hamstring injury. Chico Francisco nearly got the goal there, and then De Abreu with a nice follow-up attempt is unsuccessful with Waltman. Toth continuing to play off his back line, and now Hughes and De Abreu will ensure that the ball remains out. But Kyrell dances around near midfield, shoves off one defender, lays it out to the far side to Ramos. And now Hanson will utilize Keats. And now Waltman. Nunez pressuring along with Charlie Gonzalez. 2:35 remaining here in the fourth quarter. A 3-goal lead for the visitors, coming fresh off of a victory down in San Diego just last night. Ontario coming off the victory in Turlock, just making more of a longer drive to get home and get ready for this team tonight. McCluskey will steer it to the far side. That is West, the 2-time goal scorer in tonight's contest. They're just eating up clock now, Jose, as Ontario, I think, physically and mentally utilized a lot of their energy in that third and partial of the fourth quarter. As Lund now tees it off to Hanson. Hanson definitely will call it a night here with a minute 48 remaining here in Ontario. A 6-2 Stars lead.
Yeah, that pretty much puts the final nail on the coffin there, does Hanson. And we see Tacoma Stars, huge celebrations for them as they get that victory over Ontario here at Citizens Business Bank Arena and get back that defeat they held over there in Kent, Washington. It's 6-2 now, and the Fury depleted now, Brian.
Well, you just see, I mean, we saw that develop once Lund was on the far side challenging Toth. You see the Ontario Fury players trying to get back, and they just don't have the legs right now. And that showed as another easy goal for Tacoma. And I touched on it earlier in the first half. The goals that they scored in that first half were clear-cut goals, clear-cut finishes, meaning there were quality shot attempts and opportunities where Toth is really in no man's land, not helped out defensively from his back line, and here we are at 6-2. Turnover now from Francisco, and Nunez volleying that towards the near side boards. Ball hops up and out of bounds. A minute 24 remaining in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, that shot by Nunez, we saw a couple of instances of that, but we would have loved to see a little bit more of getting him involved. We didn't see much of him throughout the game, and it's evidence here in terms of only getting 2 goals scored tonight.
Reyes over the ball after the restart on the defensive clearance. Plays it to Jordan to his right. Jordan gets a shot attempt off that is deflected. Now Nunez. And now Hughes. Hughes will play it off the boards. Handball there. And no handball given. Right off the shoulder and arm of Keats. And a frustration foul from Reyes. As Ramos hit the deck. And it'll be actually not a foul call there on Reyes in the end. I thought it was a foul call given. Off the boards is Reyes. Francisco will light it up just wide and then gets a rebound that bounced right in front of him, right down the middle of the field. And with 59.6 seconds remaining, a 6-3 score here from Ontario.
Yeah, Chico finally able to get in the back of the net. He's been the go-to guy in the offense of getting everybody going. Nothing for him tonight, but we got to give kudos to the goalkeeper, Danny Waltman of the Tacoma Stars, able to go ahead and block everything coming at him. Nothing that he could do with the shot like that coming directly at him, and it goes through the middle into the back of the net. 6-3, a little too late for the Ontario Fury.
Chico Francisco getting his 4th goal of the season, unassisted. As Wallman continues to do his job here for Tacoma. Wallman with a 4.58 goals against average, so that average will lower after tonight's contest unless they pull off a miracle here. 6-3 with 30 seconds left. Hughes going 1v1 against Pereira. Left-footed shot attempt, sails up and out of bounds. Restart coming for the visitors.
Yeah, the Fury are able to want to get one back in the second half. That's not going to do it here in MASL to get only 1 goal in the second half to be victorious. It's not going to go ahead and get the job done as we see here tonight.
All but 10 seconds remain as Tacoma will take over first place in the Pacific Division, an overall record of 4-1. And the Ontario Fury sit in second place at 4-2. As a final score here from Ontario, California, a 6-3 victory for the visiting Tacoma Stars, sitting at 4-1 overall. Ontario at 4-2 remain still in the hunt to make the Ron Newman Cup playoffs, coming in just a few short months here in the MASL. So a few takeaways, Jose, as we do the post-game wrap-up show here from Citizens Business Bank Arena. A few notes from tonight's contest. Ontario jumped out to the 1-0 lead. Then gave up the 4 unanswered, and then tried to scratch and claw their way back into the match tonight. Unsuccessful in that third quarter when, boy, all of the third quarter was completely Ontario as they did their part in coming out into the second half and really, just weren't rewarded if you weren't awarded in that third quarter, if you want to call it that. And here we are, 6-3 final score from Ontario.
Yeah, but you got to tip your hats off to Tacoma Stars. The Fury played a great team tonight in Tacoma. Head coach Nick Pereira, /player, did everything that he had to do, but also goalkeeper Wallman for the Stars, not allowing the Fury to get any easy goals tonight. Huge difference, but again, shake that one off. It's 4-2. The season's still early, and look on to the next game.
Ontario's going to have to generate something different offensively as they created their shot attempts, but unsuccessfully doing so. These shooting lanes, boy, just clogged up throughout really from the start of the game after they got that first goal. They adjusted something defensively from Nick Pereira's mindset and really clogged the lanes the rest of the game and really caused an issue for Ontario to get any clear-cut shot attempt off. And they'll play the Southwest Division here coming up shortly on the road and then play host to a trio of games. But first, Ontario, they'll get some rest, fans, and then they'll match up against Sherlock here at home the first week of January. And then it's only one other game in January here from Citizens Business Bank Arena as the 2 games in January take place just around the corner. After this game, what do you say to your players as an Ontario Fury coach? If you're the coach, what are you saying to your team?
Just look forward. It's a long season. We know that injuries are going to happen, and unfortunately for them, we see it from Adrian Perez and Israel Cisse tonight. So it's a long season. Look forward to the next game and just shrug this one off like you did the last game.
So they'll get a few days of rest here as your Ontario Fury. Pacific Division standings, 4-1 is the Tacoma Stars, 4-2 the second place Ontario Fury. For everyone here at Citizens Business Bank Arena, myself included, Jose Duran, I'm Brian Tabajay. You've been watching Ontario Fury Soccer right here on MASL.TV. We'll see you soon. Merry Christmas, everybody.
Into the back of the net.